Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be giving you my Scorpio March 2022 horoscope forecast, and yes, it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, first thing up, as far as March goes, the Sun will be in Pisces from the 1st until the 20th, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Well, at this time, Scorpio, there may be a strong focus on your love life, children. It could be expressing a lot of sacrifice, forgiveness, compassion toward these people. There might also be a lot of creativity, using your really strong imagination. In fifth house matters, it could be creating fantasy games in some cases, if this is something that you do. Um, it could be such as creating some kind of fantasy sports, hypothetical sports, such as playing, pitting teams of the past against each other, such as the 1975 Reds versus the 1927 New York Yankees, as an example. It can be a time too where, in some cases, this could indicate, it could indicate a lot of drive and motivation in fifth house matters. Um, it can be playing some kind of Piscean sport, such as water polo or swimming. It could also be a time where you may want to shine, and really, in just in matters. It could be with creativity, with sports and games. It could be video games, since we're talking about Pisces energy. Now, the next thing up. Well, the Sun is going to be in Aries as far as March goes, from the 20th until the 31st. So for Scorpio, the sixth house will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, in some cases, this may manifest in shining the light, so to speak. It could be on an Aries health-related issue. It could be something with headaches, something with the head, the skull, the face, or the brain in isolated cases. Can also be a time, keep in mind that the Sun is connected with biological father and children, so these people may be more prominent in your daily routine. At this time, they could be Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aries characteristics. It could be a strong focus and attention on incorporating more courage in your daily routine, just more action in general. It may also be a time where there might be, you might be driven and motivated toward an Aries work-related matter, or just employment in general. It could be doing something with firefighting, something with welding, carpentry, arson investigation, a field that requires courage and confrontation, even auto repossession that requires a certain amount of confrontation, and I would say courage as well. But also, it could be a time to, at this time, for you Scorpio, could be about taking action with a lot of aggression, really a lot of initiative. It could be in a work-related matter. It could be something with employment, and also could be a focus on even pets in some cases, which may be, these pets may be more aggressive during this time, maybe even violent in some cases, more combative. Now, the next thing I want to get at is there's going to be a new moon in Pisces on March 2nd, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, Scorpio, you might find yourself, in some cases, this can manifest in something new. Could be a new Piscean game or hobby that you might start. It could be something with fantasy sports, or doing something with swimming or canoeing, or the metaphysical, which includes astrology, poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, as some examples. It could be a new Piscean love-related interest if you are unattached at this time, Scorpio. It could be a Pisces Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Piscean characteristics. This could also be about a time where it could be the beginning process of just forgiving. It could be a lover or a child at this time, where you may start an investment with a lot of idealism, but just make sure it's not unrealistic at this time. The fifth house is connected with matters of fantasy, and I'm sorry, the fifth house is connected with matters of speculation. Pisces energy can be unrealistic, so you just have to make sure you're seeing all the you're getting your right information on something. If you plan on investing something or doing something of a speculative nature that might require certain risks, just make sure you know what you're getting into at this time. And the fifth house is connected with things of a creative nature, so it could be a good time where you might start something where you incorporate your imagination and creativity at this point in time. So anyway, well, the next thing up, we're going to have a full moon in Virgo on March 18th. So for Scorpio, the 11th house will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, I mean, this can manifest in a number of ways. Scorpio, you might be completing some project with friends that might have required a lot of attention to detail, a lot of analysis. It could be the ending of something with analytical astrology, or something where you had to compartmentalize things on a computer, defragging something with a computer, or something just work related in general that may come to an end. That was a goal or aspiration, or maybe the realization of a Virgo goal or aspiration. It could be, or something that could be tied in with your future. It could be something with statistics or analytics, data entry, computer programming, something associated with computers, or I'm sorry, something. Well, it could be something that's associated with diagnosing computers, I should say. Virgo is connected with analysis, diagnosis. The 11th house is computers. This could be a time to, I mean, the full moon can be about when one becomes tired, exasperated, or simply full of something. So this could be a time for you right now, Scorpio, where you might become really tired, exasperated, full. It could be of a friend, of an acquaintance, somebody prominent in a group, club, or organization that might be overly pedantic or exacting, or critical or judgmental or cynical at this time. And anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, Venus is going, Mercury is going to be in Aquarius as far as March goes, from the 1st until the 10th. So for Scorpio, the 4th house will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could be a time, Scorpio, where you may be involved with more communications regarding your future in your home life with family members, people you're close to home with, and also talking about your future for the latter part of life. If you are not currently in it, it may also be a time where internet communications may be increased, and it could be, again, with people you're close to home with, family members. It could be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. And remember that the Mercury is also connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors. And it can be that these people at this time, they could be Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aquarian characteristics, might be more prominent in your home life than usual, your safety and security. It can be a time at this time as well, where they may be, helping maybe matters pertaining to that latter part of life. And it could also be a time where there's more communications about Aquarius-related matters, such as astrology, computers, the internet, electronics, innovation. And those communications can be with people that you're close to home with, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, and people, and just family members in general at this time, people that may reside at the place that you stay at. And it could also be understanding maybe some Aquarian qualities you may have at the core, such as being eccentric or non-conforming, very unique, even innovative, and especially if Aquarius does fall on your fourth house cusp in your natal chart. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, well, next thing up. Well, Mercury is going to be in Pisces as far as March goes from the 10th until the 27th. So the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Scorpio, you might find yourself having more communications. It could be about your dreams, your fantasies. It could be with lovers, with children at this time. But at the same time, communications may be a little bit more cryptic and ambiguous with fifth house people. Again, could be connected with lovers and children, and your thinking may be very somewhat ambivalent, and you may be more confused. Could be regarding matters of investments or something of a speculative nature at this time. And also, too, this is a time where you might be communicating more through imagery and photography with fifth house people at this time as well. And the thing too is, it might be where it might be more thought regarding maybe things of a fantastical nature as far as games go, um, such as hypothetical sports. Your mind may be more interested in these things at this time. It could be, like I was stating before in another example, that it could be something like playing teams from the past against each other, simulated sports matchups. And also, too, you might be really talking more and thinking about expressing really more sacrifice and forgiveness and compassion toward children and lovers at this time, more so than usual. Now, the next thing up, Mercury is going to be in Aries as far as March goes, from the 27th until the 31st. So at this time, Scorpio, the sixth house will be emphasized and highlighted. Well, at this time, there may be very direct and outspoken communications with employees, people that are prominent in your daily routine. It could be a time to maybe you're trying to talk to your pets a little bit more, if applicable, if you do have any pets at this time. Maybe there's some abrupt communication with them. But it may also be a time to remember that Mercury is also connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors, and they may be Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aries characteristics that might figure more prominently in your health, your employment at this time, just in your daily routine in general. And it might be a time where you may be wanting, you're thinking more about maybe there's some innovative or pioneering ideas you have um, in something with service, or it could just be just maybe you're expressing these ideas to fellow employees at this time, or it could be an aunt or an uncle. It can be a time too where this could also manifest in some cases where you're coming out or speaking more openly. It could be about an Aries health related issue. It could be something with the head, the skull, the face, or the brain. At this time, maybe there's some inflammation or rash that you're communicating about that maybe you weren't as open about it before, but now this is the time where you're willing to come out about it and speak more openly regarding this. Now, the next thing up, well, Mars is going to be in Capricorn as far as March goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So at this time, for Scorpio, your third house is what's going to be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this transit, Mars by itself, and the third house being emphasized and highlighted, can really indicate an abundance and surfeit of mental energy. It could be a time where there's a lot of activity in your communications. You might be ones connected with the government at this time, and ones that are just associated with your career ambitions and responsibilities. Now, communications with siblings, cousins, neighbors may be more acerbic than usual at this time. They can be about matters, with being serious about things or just responsibilities, matters that are, they could be of a very serious nature, and issues associated with discipline at this time as well. Maybe there's undisciplined behavior by a sibling or a cousin this time, and it might be something where the communications are a little bit more acerbic with these people as a result of them, or angry at an irresponsible neighbor, sibling, or cousin at this time. Now, it can be a time too where could be Mars is about our general activity, and there might be more activity regarding short journeys at this time, ones that could be very planned and premeditated for you at this time, Scorpio. And it may also be a time too where, keep in mind that Mars, even though it's in discipline Capricorn, it can be a time where anger might affect your rational thinking more so than usual. Now, the next thing up, Mars is going to be in Aquarius as far as March goes, from the 6th until the 31st. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, the situation with home and family members may be more contentious and acrimonious than usual. There may be a very unpredictable and erratic and sporadic outbursts of anger at this time. But at the same time, this transit could also manifest in expending a lot of energy and vitality. It could be in just home-related matters in general. It could be adding computer devices to the home, electronic devices. It might be maybe wiring your home, some high-tech security systems. Remember that the 4th house is also connected with safety and security, so there might be a lot of energy in putting things that are very innovative in your home, that are very new, and it could be ways to very advanced ways to protect your home at this time. Now, another thing too is that this could also indicate in some cases where you're also taking action in your future as far as that latter part of life goes, if you're not currently in it at this point in time. And it could also be very unpredictable battles at this time with people you're close to home with, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. It could be people that reside in your home. And also to remember that Mars is connected with accidents. So if you're doing anything in the home, Mars injuries, if you're doing something with electrical wiring, just be very careful at this time. Aquarius is very shocking energy, to say the absolute least, and Mars is very impulsive energy, so you could pretty much do the math. Now, anyway, the next thing up. Well, Jupiter is going to be in Pisces for the entirety of March 2022. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, for you, this could be very fortuitous in matters with children, with lovers, with could be creative endeavors, matters of speculation. I mean, if you have any investments, it could be in something Pisces related, something, if it's a stock associated with chemicals, or something with boating or fishing. Anything connected with Pisces, it could be a time where it could be very fortuitous and prosperous for that investment. And it could also time where you might express a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm in Pisces related games and hobbies. It could be playing, doing something with water polo, or just playing like fantasy games or fantasy sports, simulated hypothetical sports matchups, as I talked about before. But remember at the same time that Jupiter could be very paradoxical, could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand, and it may enlarge deception and duplicity in lovers and children at this point in time as well, and also even in matters with investment and speculation. At this time, it's imperative to make sure you're seeing all the fine print in those matters at this point in time. It also can enlarge delusion in matters of personal popularity. It can enlarge idealism in attaining greater personal popularity, but just be careful that you're not being unrealistic in what you can attain at this point in time as far as personal popularity goes. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. Well, Saturn is going to be in Aquarius for the entire month of March 2022. So the fourth house will be emphasized and highlighted for Scorpio. For Scorpio at this time, you might find yourself having to take care of a debilitated or sickly home or family member. It could be where you express a lot of selflessness and altruism in the process, but at the same time, it could also be about more responsibilities in the home. It could be doing things Aquarius related, could be such as doing something with electrical wiring or fixing some kind of computer or electronic device in one's home. And it could also be a time too where, I mean, keep in mind, I mean, as far as how this transit of Saturn and Aquarius is affecting the society collectively, it's inhibiting society. I believe it's what it is. It's causing certain restrictions with society. Now, the COVID, variant, I'm sure, is still prevalent around, at least somewhat prevalent around this time, and the way it's affecting Scorpio, sadly, it might be maybe there's some interaction with family members or with a less dominant parent that might be limited, or it could be simply just maybe something with the safety and security. It feels like it's affecting maybe you more at this time, more so than most people for whatever reason. So, this is something that, some ways this could manifest and pan out for Scorpio at this time. Now, anyway, the next thing up, Uranus is still going to be in Taurus, and it will be for the entirety of March 2022. So the seventh house is will be emphasized and highlighted for Scorpio. So at this time, well, this could manifest in a number of ways. It could indicate where your relationships maybe lack stability at this time. But at the same time, keep in mind that Uranus is about friendships, and Taurus is very stable energy. I mean, it could be friendships that are very stable, loyal, steadfast, solid, trustworthy. That might you might be more involved in competition with, or might simply be involved in a business partnership with. You may be involved in a Uranus-related partnership with somebody. It could be something associated with astrology, computers, electronics, new technology, aviation, and also too, this could also be a time too where lawsuits might come out unpredictably, and it might be over something Taurus related, over something could be with money or possessions or some kind of resource, or maybe it has to do as well something. Taurus is also connected, I would say, with architecture. Could have a connection with that if you were involved in that, or something with banking, or doing anything Taurus related. Like say as some profession, or if you're working as a pawnbroker, you might be there might be something where you might be facing a lawsuit over this at this point in time. And the thing about, well, the next thing I want to get at, okay, Neptune is still going to be in Pisces and will be for the entirety of March 2022. So the fifth house will be emphasized and highlighted for Scorpio. So at this time, Scorpio, it's important to guard against deception and duplicity. In like a fraudulent investment, make sure that you're reading all the fine print in these things at this time. If you are involved in anything of a speculative nature or some investment, it could also be a time too where children, lovers may be more nebulous or unclear at this time, more so than usual. And it's also important, Neptune, keep in mind, is connected with drugs and alcohol. So it might be a time where you might be seeing a child or a lover more involved in this. Um, and the thing about this too is it's really a time where you might be very idealistic to the point of unrealistic or overlooking the transgressions at this time, as far as lovers and children may go, and you may be very idealistic in terms of increasing your personal popularity. But remember, Neptune is also about dissipation, dissolving, and it could be at times this might manifest in the dissolving or dissipation of that as well. And it may be a time too where you might be more interested in Neptune related games, hobbies. It could be photography, dancing, chemistry, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, poetry, um, or doing magic tricks, because Neptune is connected with illusion, as an example. So anyway, well, last but not least, Pluto is still going to be in Capricorn, and it will be there for the entire month of March 2022. So at this time, the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Scorpio. So at this time, it may be a time now, it's really important that the thinking might be more obsessive and fixated than usual, but you might find yourself communicating more about Plutonian things, whether it could be the supernatural or the occult, which includes astrology or matters with recycling, insurance, taxes, transformation, matters connected with death. And it might be where you really, your mind is more investigative, maybe this time more so than usual. But just keep in mind the danger of this transit. It can sometimes indicate the obliteration or the destruction of rational thinking. And it could also be a time for you, at this time, Scorpio, where there may be power struggles with siblings, with cousins, with neighbors at this time as well. And Pluto is also, it's connected, with death. So it could be a time too where, in some cases, this could be the death. You might experience the death of a sibling, of a cousin, or a neighbor that was prominent in your life. It could be someone you were really friendly with. And it may be a time too, at this time as well, for you, Scorpio, where you might express more desire and passion in your communications. It could be something Capricorn related, maybe talking about information technology, accounting, business, politics, the government at this time. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.